Tony Stark was a pillar of the MCU. He donned suits, he blasted things to oblivion, he saved the world. Now that he's gone, the Avengers are left in limbo, starved for a leader. Literally starved too, Robert Downey Jr. used to hide snacks all over the set. Now the actors have to eat set food that tastes like cardboard and goes through them like water. In a dramatic turn of events, it looks like we haven't seen the last of Tony as we previously thought. He could be returning for one final outing next year. But how? What? When and where? More importantly, will he be bringing sandwiches? Let's find out. Endgame shattered our fragile hearts by doing away with some of our favorite characters. Honestly, we weren't sure we would ever recover. In fact, we're still trying not to cry just talking about it, frankly. Marvel fans spent a decade invested in Iron Man and the wonderful world of Tony Stark in particular. To have him ripped away was something that felt unexpected, sad, and just plain unfair. Especially as we were starting to really ship that whole father-son dynamic between him and Peter Parker. Well, every good hero must meet their end, right? Or at least so we thought. We had all started to accept that we wouldn't see Robert Downey Jr. don the metal suit ever again. And then in comes this massive curveball. Apparently, Tony Stark's days in the MCU aren't quite over yet. He's coupling up with another fallen comrade to propel to our screens in summer 2020. According to Deadline, Robert Downey Jr. will be seen in the role of Stark one more time in the Marvel prequel Black Widow in May 2020. Stop the world from turning because we can't take this universe anymore. The ups, the downs, the heartbreak, where will it all end? Apart from that, we don't know very much about what lies in store, but that doesn't stop us from fantasizing. Scarlett Johansson is hard at work shooting her very own standalone movie as we speak. Just like Tony, Natasha Romanoff sacrificed herself for the greater good in the last Avengers movie. That doesn't leave movie makers a whole lot of wiggle room when it comes to plot, so they're going back in time. Many believe that we'll finally learn what happened in Budapest in the upcoming flick, but we really have no idea. With that being said, how on earth could Tony appear? We now know that the events will take place between Captain America Civil War and before Avengers Infinity War. That gives us a general idea about a time frame. Prior to this, many fans thought we may get a look at Natasha's backstory. Now we know the events go down when she's already an Avenger. That leaves a lot of space for cameos from her fellow heroes like Iron Man. We've previously seen crossovers in almost every MCU movie. It's guaranteed that other Avengers will be hanging around. When there's trouble, they all tend to band together, don't they? Or at least they did before it all came crashing down and two of them were brown bread and Cap retired. Not that we're bitter or anything. Cast and crew have managed to stay tight-lipped on the majority of things, but there have been a couple of leaked set photos. One of them led fans to believe that Marvel villain Taskmaster might be featured in the flick. This villain has yet to see the light of day in the MCU, so this could be his chance. Anthony Masters can watch others do something and instantly pick up the ability himself. That would make for some impressive hand-to-hand combat scenes between him and Natasha, that's for sure. Originally, he wanted to be one of the good guys, but decided he could make bank being evil. What if Taskmaster isn't going up against Natasha Romanoff as fans first thought? What if she's really just trying to stop him from going after Tony? After all, if you're going to learn from someone, it should be the best of the best. After watching Tony do something like create a new weapon or work the Iron Man suits, Taskmaster would have the keys to the kingdom. He could take over the world, blow Stark Industries out of the water, and obliterate whatever he wanted. This would be the perfect way to put two of the fallen characters together for a final swan song. Even though it's in the past and the overall timescale, it would be a brilliant farewell to two beloved heroes. We didn't see enough of Natasha and Tony together up until this point, so why not put them together? Natasha could be the one to step in and lead the charge against Taskmaster, perhaps because she's faced him before at some point. There's still a lot about her past that we don't know. So could there be some interspersed flashbacks? Perhaps our heroine has crossed paths with Taskmaster before, or even worked with him when she was still deplorable. It could have even been her that unwittingly put Tony in the firing line. If that was the case, she would feel responsible enough to help protect Tony and whatever he's got left up his sleeve. We only saw a fraction of the gadgets that Iron Man Man has come up with in the comics on screen. Could Taskmaster be after a particularly dangerous one like the disintegrator ray? Featured in Tales to Astonish in 1963, this powerful weapon pretty much does what it says on the tin. Not only does it pack a punch, but it can be put into a regular flashlight case, ready to dissolve organic or inorganic matter. Eventually, villains caught wind of the exciting new toy and decided to get their mitts on it, leading Tony to destroy it. Wouldn't it be cool if this story could be played out? Taskmaster could plan on stealing the designs, but underestimates the wrath of the Avengers. He wouldn't be the first one to do so, would he? Seeing as we know that both Black Widow and Iron Man get out of the conflict alive, it needs to have some sort of long-lasting impact. The movie could leave some loose ends hanging in the air, ready to be picked up at a later date. Marvel likes to keep things as open as they can sometimes, and since Tony and Natasha can't return, that we know of, maybe Taskmaster could. It's a theory that's certainly worth exploring, so Marvel can have this one on us. It's the least we can do, really.